I'm a whistleblower, and the following are the names of people that want me silenced or dead. My name's Adam Knutson. I'm a Department of Defense firefighter, and I'm realtor of Ketam 418 CV04230SLDJEH, which is a multi-billion-dollar whistleblower case against Halliburton, Kellogg, Brown & Root, their insurer, American International Group, and their investor, Blackrock. I was in Iraq from 2007 until 2014. In 2013, I witnessed fraud, waste, and abuse against the United States military by my employers, KBR. I then filed for an ORI investigation, an Office of Research Integrity investigation. The chiefs that flew in to conduct the investigation, their names are Chief Ken Sprague of Kellogg, Brown & Root, Chief Mike McCain of Kellogg, Brown & Root, and the Camp Spiker Decrit Fire Chief. His name's Leroy Richardson of Kellogg, Brown & Root. These gentlemen gave a passing grade to the failing project. Ultimately, the base's war overran. The contract was breached January 2nd, 2014, as ISIS overran Ramadi and Fallujah. They established anti-aircraft weaponry. That night, only contractors, American contractors, were relocated from Camp Spiker Decrit to Camp Anaconda Balad. Everybody at Camp Spiker Decrit was brutally murdered unarmed, thrown in the Tigris River, buried in mass graves with their families enslaved. KBR and AIG, they were paid handsomely to train and protect the cadets at Camp Spiker Decrit. Oath to God on the soldier's creed and our contract state, I will never leave a fallen comrade. They broke the contract, and they took the money and ran. They then invested the ill-gotten gains into Blackrock. Now, Peter Hancock was CEO of American International Group. We need to ask ourselves, why was a guy from the United Kingdom CEO of American International Group? He hemorrhaged trillions of U.S. taxpayer dollars for defenses. Again, they took the money and ran. Pat Tillman forewarned of imperial folly. And again, they took our taxpayer dollars, committed crimes against humanity, breached the contract, and then invested in Blackrock, who has hedged against the American people. Next is I recorded AIG and KBR legal representation. His name's Mick Thomas of Thomas Quinn Law. I recorded him acknowledging that I was truthfully in Iraq in 2014. They acknowledged the Camp Spiker massacre, and they acknowledged fraud against the United States military. For this, he has a serious vendetta against me. They have refused to set trial for Open Defense Base Act cases that contain the Ketam as evidence, as KBR and AIG's fraud against the United States military is what caused injuries and senseless life loss. Mick Thomas and Thomas Quinn, their phone number is 415-546-6100. They're of the Thomas Quinn Law Firm. Next is Defense Base Act lawyer William Truly. He's currently incarcerated for human trafficking a minor. He was my first lawyer, DBA lawyer. When a firefighter is injured in a war zone, they fall under what they call the Defense Base Act, DBA. William Truly was my first DBA lawyer. He lied to everyone and told the judges that I was actually in Afghanistan and not Iraq, and that I'm just mentally ill with PTSD. I proved that he was lying, and then I actually filed against his right to practice law with the California State Bar. They conducted an investigation, which led to another investigation with the feds, where he was caught human trafficking a minor. Next is Defense Base Act lawyer Thomas Barnes. I recorded Thomas Barnes and Mick Thomas, KBR and AIG's lawyer, acknowledging the Camp Spiker massacre, a 1,700-person massacre, acknowledging that I was truthfully in Iraq in 2014, and acknowledging fraud against the United States military. Thomas Barnes has a serious vendetta against me as well. I've asked them numerous times to settle. They drafted up what they call my lifetime value of indemnity, which was appraised at $3.1 million. I asked them to honor my friend's sacrifices at Camp Spiker Decrit and give me my day in court so we can help my friends' families, and they've refused. Next is DBA lawyer Christy Johnson. She tried to force a settlement under duress. I refused, and that's when I had the shit beaten out of me by private investigators and PD. Next is key tam lawyer Joel Androphy of Berg and Androphy Law of Houston, Texas. I was flown to Chicago, taken in taken in a back alley, taken up a fire escape, taken into a back room, and sat down at a large table where he had me meet the alleged FBI. No one showed credentials, no one seemed professional. They sat me down and told me, look, there's no case here. You need to self-withdraw your whistleblower case or no one can help you. And they told me I had to do it by October 16th, 2019. This is my son's birthday. I took this as a threat. I chewed out the alleged feds, cursed out the lawyer. He withdrew from the case, and I recorded and documented everything. I very publicly posted the whistleblower case as soon as this took place. I then gave a copy of everything to the Kitsap County District Attorney. His name is Chad Enright. Mr. Enright wrote a warrant for my arrest for intercepting phone calls, for documenting the whistleblower retaliation. He issued a warrant for my arrest. Now, could you imagine putting your life on the line as a firefighter in a war zone and you see treason, massacre, and genocide, and you just want to help the innocent? You want to free the slaves. You want to honor your friends' sacrifices. You want to honor oaths to God on the soldier's creed that state, I will never leave a fallen comrade. And then your small town, small-minded district attorney writes a warrant for your arrest. So then I was incarcerated, where they actually held me in a cell for, they call it holding, and then there's what's called county. They held me in holding for 3 days. They printed up a form that said, if I agree to sign that I'm incompetent, that they will then put me into county where, I can take a shower, get a pillow, get a blanket, call my lawyer. I told them to go fuck themselves. I refused. I did a water and food strike. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't swear in a chapel. I apologize about that. And I'm getting better at not swearing. I apologize. But I'm sorry. I did a water and food strike for 3 days, to the point they were like, look, we're going to have to take him to the hospital if he doesn't drink something here soon. And, told them if they do that, I'm going to inform the nurses, tell everyone what's happening, or they could just let me make my phone call. I haven't sued any of the PD. I haven't sued Kitsap County Sheriff's Office. I haven't sued the officers that helped break my teeth, break my face, put a hood over my head. And if you want to see pictures of that and the police report, you can go to Instagram Knutson360. It gets flagged here on TikTok because they think it's too violent, too gory. So the district attorney, I feel he is a major concern because I feel he's very desperate to cover up his whistleblower retaliation. He's had every chance to do what's right, but he refuses. And I understand that in the United States, you can't say you're sorry because an apology is an admission to guilt. I'm not looking for that. We are running out of time. They're closing what they call the internal displacement person camps, meaning hundreds of thousands of people are going to be kicked to the street. And this is Yazidis, Christians, and U.S. comrade families. They're going to be persecuted by Islamic extremists. The United Nations, they're closing UNITAD, that's the investigative unit that gathered the evidence of crimes against humanity and genocide for the Camp Speicher massacre and the Yazidi genocide. I'm asking that they let me finish my casework so I can fund prosecution in Nuremberg, Germany for the Nuremberg Trials 2, Justice Against the Islamic Caliphate. I then want to go in for search and rescue of my friends' families, Yazidis, Christians, and other U.S. comrade families. I mean, that's, I believe I've listed everyone that came to mind. I have been getting death threats. I get death threats on my son. I've had them cut TTD, temporary total disability. I've had my left heel cut off. I've had surgery withheld. They withheld the Camp Speicher massacre. They tell me to sign and take the deal, and then I can get a physician of my choosing and move forward. I refuse. I'm not signing that NDA. We're going to honor my brother's sacrifices in a court of law. Last to anyone making it through this long, lengthy video is please save it in case something does happen to me. I'm not suicidal whatsoever. I work out twice a day. I'm here at the Y right now. Last is please go to change.org and sign petition Rico Blackrock to expedite my day in court. God bless.